Warning, viewer discretion is advised for younger viewers.
Okay, so, yo, what's up? You now have a fully functioning cop car. Drivable, lights work, everything works. Um, we do need to at least still script a bit. Just a teeny tiny bit. This is at least the final stages. So what we're gonna do is we're first gonna make the car a bit more driver ready, if you want to say it like that. So we're gonna go through the chassis itself and tune it a bit. So first of all, what is the actual total weight of the car? So this is in pounds. The total weight is in pounds. So if we go onto the internet and we type in Dodge Demon specs, then you should come up with mostly anything that will tell you what it has. So you see the Challenger SRT Demon. You can select different year models, I guess. And it is obviously rear-wheel drive. So it starts at $86,000. Wow, okay. So obviously rear-wheel drive. The displacement is 6.2 liters. The maximum horsepower just from factory alone is 808 at 6,300 RPM. 6,300 RPM. So, 808 horsepower is made by that. So I believe the car can go up to 7,000 or 6,500 RPM, but the max torque and the max horsepower it makes is at 6,300. The max torque is at 4,500. Torque is something we're not going to look at right now. It's mostly going to be horsepower because there isn't really a torque thing in the chassis that I'm using. But the number of transmissions are 8. And that's actually cool. They give you all of this as well. That's nice. You know what? We're gonna do exactly this. We're gonna take the manual out and only keep it automatic. But we're definitely doing this. Okay, any case, what we are looking for, let me just make this a bit smaller. So we have all the dimensions here to the right of us. We want the actual weight, which height, length, exterior dimensions, interior dimensions, cargo dimensions, steering, suspension, brakes, wheel and tires, towing, weight information. So the curb weight of this is 4,280 pounds. So that's what you're gonna put in here to weight. So it's 4,000. I just lost that. 4,280. So we want to put 4,280. You don't have to. This is just making the car as realistic as we can. Now the weight distribution. I don't think it's going to tell us that here, honestly, to where it is. So I'm going to say the engine's a bit heavy. I'm going to say it's a 40 to 60 ratio. So 40% is front, 50% is rear. But you know what, actually, yeah, just like that. So the center of gravity, not really something I mess with, because if you mess too much, you're going to break your car. Like, it will happen, and I've done it a few times. So what I usually do now, sorry for that, I need to put my phone on silent, but I'm technically still working, so I'm just taking off. So what I do is I usually try and find how many studs it is. So each of this blocks counts as one, I believe. So the length, it says there 15, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, so about 22. But, yeah, it's about 22. 22 long. Height we'll do later because you're going to have to literally tip the car onto its side to be accurate. So this starts about here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9. Let's go for 9 in width. This is just showing the chassis itself, how long, wide, and high the car is. So it just has more friction and more dynamicy. I'm making up words today. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you say Control T and R and T. There you go. Now it's on its side. So now you can see how wide it is. So from the bottom, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go with 8. So it's 8 high. So, oh, fuck. Sorry for my language. Just tab that. Okay, so it's 9 wide, 8 high, and 22 long. Just to say it easily. Now you just do Control T again and Control R and T again. There you go. Now it's back on its wheels. So now that we've done that, next what we want to do, we're going to leave the suspension for now because I don't want to make the car wobbly. If you wanted to make the car wobbly and have like actual suspension travel, which you kind of want to have on actual off-roading cars, you go with the stiffness. The stiffness you take down a bit so that it doesn't just stay high. So let's actually go and make it 6,000 with the dampening. Let's go 300, and then anti-roll we're gonna leave. The compression, let's go with 4 compression. The extension we're gonna leave at 3, and this one we're gonna make, because this is the max compression. Oh my goodness, you would think I'm drunk. Compression. Wow. Okay, let's make that 4 as well. So compression. I'm going to. So that's the front suspension. So you just do exactly the same on the rear. Dampening 300, stiffness 6,000. The pre-compression we'll leave at 4. The extension we'll leave at 3. And then max compression is 4. Okay, so now the suspension color, bright red, we can leave that. Steering, at least the gyro steering is off, which I did change from the beginning, which is none. Gyro steering is when front and back steering works, 4-wheel steering. And you don't want that on a car that only has one front wheel steering. Newer cars that come out do have it, like the Audi RS6 Avant. It has 4-wheel steering, but then I haven't touched that because that's a lot of playing around. That's for sure. Okay, now we buy an engine. So electric engine needs to be false because it's not electric. You just type in false. So the actual horsepower we get, or supposed to have, is 808. Idle will be that. peak horsepower, that's where you put 63. Red line, we're gonna make, let's do 7,000. Well, let's do it 6.5. 6.5. Eco point, you leave. Peak sharpness, you leave. Torque multiplier, you leave. Not torque. Curve multiplier, you leave. So it does not come with turbochargers. You can put in if you want, but I'm just keeping it stock. Superchargers, though, the boost, let's do 10 boost. The efficiency of it. The efficiency of that is how strongly it gets applied. So if it's now by 8.5, that number goes very, very high. But just to keep it safe, let's just keep it at 9. Let's do 9 then. So the efficiency is 9. Don't ask me out of how much. You can put as much as you want, and I'll show you what happens if you do. So we're just going to put 9 in, and then sensitivity is just how quickly it gets put down, if you want to say it like that. How quickly it takes effect. There we go. And the efficiency is how well it keeps that effect, I believe. So you kind of don't want to mess too much with that. Because here it even tells you the recommended values is between 0.05 and 0.1. So let's just make the 0.08. Okay. Throttle, these you can leave. It's not really that important because I'll show you why now. So here, demons are rear-wheel drive. So you want rear-wheel drive there, not front-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive. You can obviously make what you want, when you want, how you want. But this car is made from realisticness, if you want to say it like that. So the torque converter will be 100% in the back. So we're going to put 1. Because -1 is all front bias. 0 is a 50-50 bias. And 1 is a rear bias. So it's rear-wheel drive. So you want the torque converter on the rear, because obviously it's rear-wheel drive. Differential settings. This will mess about later because it does help you with slip and lock, where this is all the differential tuning. So this is kind of something you want to mess with when it comes to drifting. But we'll see how the car handles, because it's supposed to be gripping very well in any case. So we'll see. And just letting you know, we are definitely making more than 808 horsepower because of the supercharger. So we'll see how much horsepower we make. Okay, so semi we can leave. Manual needs to go out. This we can take out. So you just backspace. So you can, the transfer modes is auto or semi, which semi is putting it into drive and into reverse by yourself. Auto, it does it automatically by itself, obviously. So now I want to clutch, we can leave all of that here. I want to now actually go. So if you want to add more gears, you just copy 6, you say enter there, and you control V. So there's 6, so that would be 7, and that's 8. So now you want to just tab, so they all just be in line, and you name this 7, and you name this 8. Now, just because I am very curious to see how this is going to work, because they show you the gear ratios right here. So what you usually would do is, in normal cars, your neutral obviously is 0. Your final drive combines all of these ratios to make it all longer or shorter, to make you go faster in a certain amount of time or take longer to achieve higher speed. Okay, brakes, the handbrake force, let's put that at 6,000. And then the actual braking force itself, seeing as it is a cop car, we'll put at 4,500. Brake bias will do more towards the rear. So we want to make this 40. So more to the rear than to the front, so the car doesn't spin out when it starts braking. Handbrake, we're just going to leave. So first of all, the mouse drive, take it out. I hate this, and it needs to stay out of everything. Second of all, traction control will always be there because T is your primary. And I just got to order. Okay, so we took the mouse steer out. So as you can see, your primary controls is up, down, left and right for forward, backwards, steering left and right. Secondary is W, S, A, and D keys. Shift up and down is E and Q. And then clutch is left shift, which, yeah. P brake is P. And then the mouse controls, I just never use them. So we'll just delete them again. Okay, and then controller mapping. So controller mapping is something that you definitely want to have in a car like this, or in any car, as a matter of fact, because it helps you actually be able to play on console, which is amazing. There we go. So you guys now saw it goes 238 miles an hour. That's very funny, but no. So what we're going to do is we are going to the final drive and making this 3.54. Let's do 3.54. And then we also want to go up here. Back suspension. Sorry for that. Back suspension we saw was a bit derpy. So let's go. That is the front. That's the rear. So let's go 6,000 to 7,000. Leave it at 8 gears, okay? But we now put 1.6. So this gives it more torque. So it's going to have a way better launch, kind of. But it also is going to be very much quicker in acceleration. We just don't want it to do 200 miles an hour. Okay, let's retry that with less failure. Maybe just a little bit less failure. Never mind. Third time's the charm, hopefully. Perfect. 216. Perfecto.